After Tony Stark forces Spider-Man to reveal his identity, Kingpin decides to put a bounty on Peter's head, and a sniper gets ready to kill him and his family. However, the spider sense warns Peter in time, and he manages to push Mary Jane out of the way of the shot, but only for the bullet to hit Aunt May straight on. Now furious, Spider-Man runs out of the hotel, and after throwing an entire jeep at the shooter, he runs back to May and immediately takes her to the hospital, where the doctors desperately try to stop the bleeding, while Peter panics outside the window. But as soon as he realizes he needs to investigate what happened, Peter puts on his black suit once again and swears to kill whoever was responsible. And after much interrogation, Peter discovers it was Kingpin and calls him in prison, saying he would die that night. A few hours then pass, and after the prison lights turn on and all the cells magically open, Spider-Man shows up in front of everyone to finally face Kingpin while the inmates watch. But as Fisk comments that he never imagined their final fight would be in a prison with an audience, Peter remains silent and Kingpin gets very annoyed, now mocking him for dodging the bullet like a coward and letting it hit his old aunt. Without any warning, Spider-Man suddenly starts attacking brutally, and even as Fisk keeps mocking his thirst for revenge, Peter just responds with even more direct hits to his face. Now super annoyed that Peter isn't talking like he usually does, Fisk provokes him even more, and Spider-Man finally breaks his silence, saying there were lines he couldn't cross while wearing his hero costume, and right away saying that Spider-Man wasn't there to kill him, taking off his mask and shirt, and saying that Peter Parker was immediately rushing in and beating Fisk for several minutes, while the inmates watched in shock until he eventually collapsed to the floor. Peter then starts mocking him and says that Kingpin actually had no real power, and that he was just an arrogant fat man about to pop like a balloon, and that he would be happy to be the needle. Fisk then tries to fight back, but after Peter easily dodges everything and knocks him down again with a single punch, Kingpin swears he'll kill him, but Peter just yells at him to get up, to which Fisk replies that he couldn't. Peter then literally lifts him by his chest skin, and after slapping him 10 times across the face in front of everyone, Spider-Man says he would die by choking and places his hand over Fisk's mouth, now starting a countdown as everyone watches in horror. However, at the last second, Peter throws Fisk aside and Kingpin just begs to be killed already, but Peter says he had already done something much worse, humiliated him in front of everyone who feared him, and as Peter promises that if anything happens to his aunt, he'll come back to kill him for real, Fisk is left completely humiliated, forced to crawl back defeated into his cell.